New Marvel's Avengers details, offline mode, skills, companions, war zones and more. During a recent AMA, Crystal Dynamics revealed some new details about Marvel's Avengers. According to the team, the game will offer both online and offline modes. However, a few select in-game content types will be co-op/online only. For offline players, they need to do an initial online check when playing the game for the first time. After that, they can play all of the missions that support solo play offline without the need to go online again. Furthermore, the game won't feature any raid missions at launch. Still, Crystal Dynamics plans to release the first one a few weeks after the game's release. Players will be able to buy gears for all characters from vendors. However, gears won't change the way your character looks. Additionally, in missions you can only earn gears and outfits for the hero that you are currently using. Also, and with the exception of a few parts in the game where heroes need to have a certain costume on, for story purposes, your heroes will show up in cutscenes and gameplay with the outfits that you've chosen for them. Some skills will improve your ability to traverse more effectively, but the majority of skills are focused around combat. Moreover, there will be skills that will make reviving easier in the game. Avengers behave situationally for ranged and melee combat. When you run forward, Hulk uses ranged as you enter combat. When he gets close, he'll use melee. However, your companions won't level up your heroes. And, if you go down during a mission, companions will focus on reviving you. Here are all the new details that Crystal Dynamics revealed during its Reddit AMA. Marvel's Avengers Reddit AMA details. Number 1. Few select in-game content types are co-op/online only and can't be played solo, with companions. Raid-like missions won't be there at launch, but we'll get the first one just a few weeks after release. They are already working on more raid missions. For offline players, they need to do an initial online check when playing the game for the first time. After that, they can play all of the missions that support solo play offline without the need to go online again. The story of New Heroes, post-launch, will be about them meeting up with the core Avengers crew, the heroes that are available at launch. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the new heroes won't interact with the Avengers crew. Thank you Mandalorian for the update. They are planning seasonal events like Halloween, Christmas, etc., but they'll announce the details later as we get close to said events. In some cases they might shadow drop an event and surprise the players though. They plan to have weekly, monthly updates for the game, and they'll share the exact details at a later date. In regards to adding new costumes, the plan is to have a mix of free unlockable costumes and paid-only outfits. You cannot mix and match different elements of outfits with each other, like making regular Hulk wear fedora. Gears won't change the way your character looks. Some skills do improve your ability to traverse more effectively, but the majority of skills are focused around combat. Thank you Bunta and Estate 1992. Hulk can't climb on the side of buildings, walls and such, but he can jump off the walls and smash enemies from there. You cannot restrict your upgrade point once they are spent, but you can switch between different versions of a move once they are unlocked. No upgrade point needed for that. Marvel's Avengers Reddit AMA details. Number 2. Note, you can unlock every skill in all 3 skill trees. You are not locked into one skill tree. You can change some of your skills, abilities mid-mission. Besides a few seen in the story, Tony will almost always be in his Iron Man attire. You can change which hero you use to walk around the helicarrier. In the missions you can only earn gears and outfits for the hero that you are currently using. You can buy gears for all characters from vendors. Your companions won't level up your heroes. So you need to play all your heroes yourself if you want to keep them at a high level. If you go down during a mission, companions will focus on reviving you. There are skills that will make reviving easier in the game. You can use certain gears and abilities to create certain builds for heroes. Like a close-range melee combat Iron Man. Avengers behave situationally for ranged and melee combat. When you run forward, Hulk uses ranged as you enter combat. When he gets close, he'll use melee. With the exception of a few parts in the game where heroes need to have a certain costume on, for story purposes, your heroes will show up in cutscenes and gameplay with the outfits that you've chosen for them. When playing with another friend, 2 players and 2 eyes, you can pick favorites from your other heroes so they would show up as eye companions. So in that scenario, you have 2 players and 1 eye companion from each player's crew. If they have set a favorite hero, the game will choose that as an eye partner, if not then the game will choose eye companions at random from each crew. Marvel's Avengers Reddit AMA Details Number 3. Harm challenge rooms have set configurations, challenges that will be updated regularly, but they are not customizable. For example, if you can't pick Taskmaster and Abomination as enemies and fight with them to have a heroes versus villains showdown unless the devs have made that in specific challenge room. There are no mini-maps in war zones. Points of interest will be refreshed to have new loot in them each time you replay a mission. War zones can take from 15 to 30 minutes depending on how big they are. Raid-like missions that they'll add post-launch can take up to 2 hours to complete. Drop zones at most will take 10 minutes. There are a lot of set pieces in the game both in campaign missions and in war zones. Some war zones have fixed content but others have randomized elements such as different enemy spawns. Rewards follow the same model. Some are fixed and some are randomized. There are 4 difficulty settings for each missions. The higher the difficulty, the better the reward. Currently you can store up to 300 combined pieces of gears for all the heroes. Some of the war zones might have spoilers if you haven't done certain story missions, in which case the players who haven't played said story missions will get a spoiler warning message before starting that war zone mission. When playing co-op, missions scale to the lowest power level in your party, but gear drops to you and your power level with a marginal influence from mission power.